This evening on News Press Now on NBC 21, St. Joe police were called to a shots fired incident this morning on Donovan Avenue. We'll tell you the details in that case. And Apple Market grocers are closing, but what does that mean for pharmacy customers? We'll tell you their plans.
And we saw quite a few clouds roll into the area. Some cool temperatures around here today. I think it's going to get a little colder here tomorrow morning. I'll tell you what to expect as we head into the weekend coming up as your news starts now.
Good evening. It's a Friday night and a weekend. Thanks for joining us here on NBC 21 and Fox 26. I'm Bob Heater. St. Joseph police responded to one St. Joseph neighborhood this morning on a report of shots fired. Officers focused the investigation on one particular home at the corner of 37th Street and Donovan Avenue. It was just west of an auto dealership on the belt. Officers spent the morning talking to witnesses in the area and looking for evidence of shell casings. There were no injuries apparently, but one man was taken away in a police car at around 7:15. The man shouted, "Love you," at the house before police put him in the car and drove away. An argument over a parking space erupted into a knife fight earlier this morning in one downtown St. Joe neighborhood. The incident happened about 1:15 this morning. Two women apparently began fighting over a parking space. It happened in the 300 block of South 12th Street. One of the women pulled out a knife during that fight in the street. Police say both suffered injuries and one did require medical treatment. Police described the injuries as non-life threatening. That one woman was taken into custody on an investigation charge after it occurred. Jurors convicted a 70-year-old retired teacher from Independence, Missouri on a felony charge of attempted enticement of a child yesterday. It was at the end of a 4-day trial. Thomas DeMark testified in his own defense along with 7 other witnesses, but within about 2 hours, jurors agreed. The evidence during the 4-day trial proved him guilty of the crime. Back in 2015, DeMark used a computer to communicate with an individual he thought was a 13-year-old child in May of 2015. He showed up at a St. Joseph residence where he thought his victim lived, only to be arrested by police officers. The conviction requires a minimum of at least 5 years, and sentencing will happen in late January. With their students home for the day, teachers brushed up on their skills across the St. Joe School District today. It was the staff at Lindbergh Elementary using Professional Development Day to learn how to augment some of their writing, and they can also help students develop their thinking processes once all the kids return. Representatives from the Kansas City Writing Project showed teachers how to apply the writing concepts not just in language arts, but also in subjects like math and science.
Argumentative writing is a technique that can carry across content area. It's something that kids can use in math and sciences, and also through good language arts instruction to articulate what they know. The more kids know what they know, the more able they are to build on that over time.
And other schools use Professional Development Day to focus on subjects like literacy, also English for speakers of other languages and other topics. Here we are. We reached the official weekend.
We have, and good thing kids had off today. It was a little cool outside.
It was a little cool.
I'm sure they were enjoying not having to go to school
Cloudy
in this cool
and
weather.
cool.
Yeah.
My grandson was out shooting a few hoops earlier today, but yeah,
it was pretty nice around
pretty
here
nice,
today.
really.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll take it. It's actually feeling like fall around
Yeah,
here,
it is.
and it's going to continue tomorrow. But then it's going to warm back up. So
Okay.
we have that going. Let's take a look at Storm Tracker right now. We do have, as you can see, those clouds that roll through? That's them down to the south here. We're going to see things clear out here over the next couple of hours. And we're going to get some, let's call it cold conditions here by the early morning hours. Right now, not too bad. 50 degrees at Rosecrans, 52 in Halls. We're seeing 52 in Trimble, 51 in Empire Prairie, 50 at the airport in Kansas City. So I'm going to move back over this way because I want to show you something. So this is the jet stream. I'm using some different colors here because I want to point out something that's really going to affect us here. You see all these yellow right here? This is cold, dry air that's getting just pushed down into our area here. You can see this right here. These are where the clouds really developed, and they're going to continue to move towards the south, but that cool, dry air is going to slide into this area, and we are going to see some cold conditions tomorrow morning. And because of it, we have our first freeze warning of winter of 2016-17 here. From tonight at midnight until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, temperatures anywhere from 28 to 32 degrees, depending on where you live. So we're talking calm winds here, and with our humidity right around 100%, I think we could be talking about our first official freeze here. So if you haven't covered any sensitive plants, bring them in. They're more than likely going to feel the freeze here tomorrow morning. So freeze warning in effect until 9. Nice temperatures this weekend, at least rain free. Tomorrow is going to be a little cool, but we're going to start to warm up here on Sunday. And then we're talking about above normal temperatures rolling back into the area here for next week. I'll break everything down for you coming up here in about 7 minutes, Bob.
All right, thanks, Christian. The Apple Market stores may be closing, but the pharmacies inside 2 of the locations are not. The pharmacies located at Apple Market on Pear Street and in Savannah will both remain open, even after the grocer closes its doors November 19th. The businesses are independently owned, away from the grocery store, and they operate outside of Apple Market's company. While the details are still being worked out, both pharmacies will offer services to their customers. We talked to the owner of the pharmacy on Pear Street about why it's important to keep that open.
Well, to give the service in this area of town, because the patients here, they've been disappointed by Kmart leaving, and down south, one of the recent store closure down there, and it's good to give some good news and make sure that the people that have entrusted me as their pharmacist, that I'm just not going to bail out to a chain and make them, make them go places where they don't want to go.
And of course, here at News Press Now, we will keep you updated as to the pharmacies as they sort through the aftermath of the Apple Market closings. Well, this fall is marking yet another great harvest for area soybean farmers. Most all of Northwest Missouri's harvest wrapped up this week, with farmers again reporting strong yields from the soybean fields. In recent warm weather, and of course, dry conditions have helped speed up the work in the fields. Most crops are above average, they tell us. Now it's up to companies like Ag Processing to take the beans and crush them into vegetable oil for use in food industries. Farmers hope to see some strong prices as well this year in the soybean market. After several decades in ministry across the country, a new pastor is focusing on relationships, not religion, as a Southside church changes hands. The Reverend Roger Wilcoxon started as senior pastor at King Hill Christian in September. It was a good fit. Almost immediately, he says that he began pastoring at the church on a temporary basis in July. The church attendance has almost doubled since then.
My biggest thing is giving God opportunity. That's it. I don't get tripped up on God's going to heal you today. I don't get tripped up on God's going to deliver you today. My biggest thing is let's just give God opportunity. And as we give God opportunity, we'll watch God do what he does best, and that's love his people.
And the pastor says that he focuses on ministry outside the church especially, and fosters personal relationships with Christ and also non-denominational churches. The Sisters of St. Francis in Savannah are working to raise money to support one of their members in an unusual situation. Sister Nancy, a member of the Little Sisters of St. Francis religious community in Kenya, and has also lived at the Savannah convent for almost 4 years now. Well, earlier this week, while driving back from a convention in a rental car, the vehicle was struck by a deer. The damage isn't covered by her insurance, and now, Sister is looking at almost $4,000 in repairs. As part of their religious order, they strive to live a simpler lifestyle with limited financial needs. The sisters took to Facebook with a special request asking the public to help with the unusual financial situation.
Oh, it's the kindness of the people usually that has always helped the sisters all over, even back home, or we just appeal to people who can, and whatever they give is what, and if we take it with gratitude and then try to find a way to repay the debt.
And the public can make donations on the Sisters' website at sistersofstfrancis.org or their mailing address. For more information, you can check out tomorrow's edition of the St. Joseph News Press. Well, as we told you yesterday, the big flag that flies atop King Hill was supposed to make it back by today, but it did not. Coming up, we'll tell you when it might be back flying in the sky.
And we're going to continue to see some cool conditions as we head into tomorrow, but as you can see, some warmer temperatures will return and we'll get back above normal. I'll tell you what to expect for the weekend coming up next.